everybody, and welcome to Generally Speaking, the podcast that bridges the world of pop culture and personal development. I am your host, Jennifer Snook, and I am so happy to be here with you today. I hope everything has been going well in your world. Here is what's been going on in mine. Let's catch up because there's actually been a lot. I was supposed to be doing this podcast Thursday, as I normally do, because I don't work Thursday, so it's easier for me to lay this down on Thursday, and then I usually post it Friday morning or thereabouts. So anyway, I was supposed to record, obviously, on Thursday, but we'd also scheduled our drive up to the Bay on Thursday. So I had this ingenious idea of bringing my little sound box and doing it in the car on the ride up, but the sound quality was just too shitty, so I had to scrap that idea. And then here's the problem. As soon as I get to the Bay and see my nephews, it's just full throttle, like from the moment I get there until the moment I leave, because, I mean, they're full throttle, and number two, I just don't want to miss a moment. Look at this. I'm talking about them and it already makes me emotional. Oh, I just left their cute little faces a couple days ago and they are just so precious. I never imagined that being an auntie would be so amazing. You know, it took me, like 42 years to become an auntie. And no, longer than that, 48 years to become an auntie. Crazy, right? I had kids at 22, but it took me that long to become an auntie. So anyway, we drove up. We got there Thursday night, and we went out to dinner Thursday night. Then on Friday we had a beautiful day. I spent time with my mom. I spent time with my nephews. We took a beautiful long country walk. Friday we just basically spent a day just lounging together and, you know, hanging out. And then we went and we did a little shopping because I was going to make my new famous clam chowder recipe, which, let me tell you guys, I'm telling you, I never I never knew I could make clam chowder the way I can make clam chowder, but let me tell you, it is something very, very special. I mean, I love clam chowder, and I gotta say, my clam chowder ranks right up there with, I'd say, top 3, best I've ever had. So anyway, so we did that. That was Friday night. And then Saturday at noon, my mom and I went to a baby shower that was actually the whole precipice. That was the whole reason why we were going up to the Bay to begin with this week. Was prompted by an invitation to a baby shower that is truly such a magical union of two of my favorite people. These two make me emotional as well. I had a very emotional weekend, you guys. I'm just warning you. And and I did. That's just the fact. But the two people that are having this beautiful baby, Sienna Rose, that's about to be born, were both born from two of my favorite people. My very longest best friend since I was 7 years old. We were the best of friends, childhood friends growing up. We've always maintained our friendship. Bridget was my maid of honor at my wedding. I was in her wedding. We have spent tons of time together in our adulthood. We have always been very tight. Anyway, her only son, who I was at the hospital when he was born, a few years ago, married the daughter of another of my very, very, very dearest friends, who happens to be the niece of my first boyfriend. So I was also very much there when she was born. So I was there when Katie was born and when Justin was born, and I have loved them both. I mean, since I knew that they were coming, it was just instant. And anyway, those two were high school sweethearts. They got married a few years ago, and now they are having their own baby. So it was just so incredibly full circle and just warm and satisfying to have relationships in your life that matter that much to you, and then to see the blossoming and the next generation becoming, and to just be present for that and to be alive to witness it. I just felt so blessed and honored to just be able to witness that first full circle moment. And it was just so very, very sweet. And to make the shower even better, I was seated across from my Carla, who aside from Bridget, is my other oldest friend. I was in a room full of my favorite people, and my Carla is exactly my age. Well, technically she's a couple months older than I am, but she is my soul sister. She is family. She is my heart. I love her so completely. I can't even say enough about my girl. But she was seated across from me, and that was the first time that I had seen her in person since she got engaged, you guys, for the first time in her life at 52 years old. How special is that? And she has found a guy that she is so head over heels for. And so I'm sitting there in this baby bliss, and I'm sitting here across from my friend who is just experiencing the most beautiful love. And then she came back to the house with us, and we hung out there for a while and had a really nice night. She went for a drive with us up to the top of my brother's mountain, where they have just the most incredible views. And we went up there and had some fun and took some pictures. And then my daughter and one of my brothers went to a birthday party for another very close family friend. I personally was pooped. My mom was pooped, so we stayed home and sat that one out. But then Sunday came around, and we all got up early, got ready, got the dogs and the kids ready, and we went for the most beautiful day of wine tasting. And we went to these family vineyards that had this one had this incredible soccer field. It could have even been, it was like an all-purpose field, actually. It was huge. They had volleyball courts up. We did gunny sack races. We played frisbee. We threw the football. We played soccer, volleyball. We did a little wine tasting. We just had the most incredible time. We went to a second winery where we met up with a bunch of friends. And then we wrapped up our evening at RHOBH Winery, because we knew they have incredible food trucks. And so we went there for dinner, and it was wonderful. If you're ever in the South Bay and looking for a wonderful way to spend a Sunday or any weekend day, actually, check out RHOBH Winery. They have their main winery in Hollister, but they have a tasting room, a really beautiful tasting room, which is the one that we were at, right on the border of San Martin and Morgan Hill. Then we came home, we sat around the fire outside, and we, had some important family discussions that were kind of overdue. There are four of us siblings. I'm the oldest, and then my brother came along 7 years later. Same parents. I was an only child for 7 years. So it was me, my brother Brian, my sister Ashley came along 9 years after me. And then 11 years after me was my baby brother Bradley. So there are four of us. But for the last few years, there have basically been three of us, because my sister has really kind of pulled away from the family and is just not wanting to engage, and it has been a very painful experience for all of us, and it was just kind of important to touch on it and kind of really talk about it, because we all kind of tiptoe around it. We all get upset about it, but we never really talk about it. And it needed to be talked about, because it's a real source of pain for our entire family. It's a real source of pain for my mom, and it breaks my heart that she is in the health predicament that she is in, or, even if she wasn't, but the fact that my mom is just so faced with her mortality on a daily basis because of her health conditions that it's a really present topic for her. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how healthy or ill you are. When it's your kids, it feels like a very pressing matter. And it is. So it was healing, and it was long overdue. And yeah, so that happened. So anyway, that is what is going on, or what has been going on in my world in the last, I'd say, week and a half now, guys. So let's now dive into what is happening in the world of reality. So, I mean, a lot. I feel like shit is really popping off. Like, I mean, headlines are just popping up left and right. Garcelle recently said that at the reunion, Kyle revealed a lot, like a whole lot. So Garcelle, I want to read this to you guys because I don't want to get it wrong. When asked if Kyle will clear the air and share what's really going on in her personal life today, Garcelle confirmed that she does. Garcelle says, "I think she does. I really think she does." She goes on and says, "I mean, there's new information that we didn't even know. So that's exciting." She continued, "Not exciting for what the information is, but exciting that she gave it to us." So there you have that. So that is important to note. And then you have Mauricio doing some weird dance online on his Instagram. It feels like it's some kind of, I don't know, preemptive fuck you to the world, because I have a sneaking suspicion that something is about to come out. I really do. And I'm going to get into what I think that big announcement is in our reality check, so stay tuned. But regardless of what it is that Kyle has to announce, Mauricio does not need to be responding with silly dancing videos where he's flipping the camera off. He needs to rise above that. That was embarrassing. Then we hear that Brittany and Jax are separated. Now this one, who knows if this is true? Because I think that Jax is absolutely desperate enough to fake him and Brittany being in big trouble, just for the ratings and the hype, to try and, get people to tune into the show to see if it's true or not. And their little son is young enough that if they were to fake that funk, it wouldn't affect him. I mean, that's why, people say, oh, they thought Mauricio and Kyle were faking their stuff. But there's no way they would have been faking that. Because, I mean, their kids were there. I mean, you saw it all. It was real. Those tears are... There's no one in their right mind is going to put people through that if it's not true. Except maybe Jax and Brittany, whose baby is too young to know the difference. They're thinking that they can navigate it and it'll be fine. And that the kid will never know, which is probably true, let's face it. But the other thing with Jax and Brittany is that it very well may be true, because Jax is that big of an idiot, and there's every chance that being on this new show, that he'll tell everyone is built around him, and he sold it. He sold this to the network. That he could have gotten all, way too big for his britches again, like he used to be. Because when he was towing the line, he wasn't the king of Bravo like he used to like to say he was. But now he might be feeling like someone is, crowning him again. And so who knows? Who knows? That it could all be bullshit, but it also, with the two of them, could really be. Teresa and her lover boy Louie are up to their old tricks again, posing with their old former enemies. This time it's Kim D. If you remember, about this time last year, it was Jacqueline Larita. And now it is Kim D. Kim D because Teresa is so namaste, bitches. No, but it was Teresa, Kim D, Louie, and Teresa's longtime attorney taking and posting a picture that was all smiles. So we will definitely see. But my God, Louie is hilarious. And I am so excited to see what happens with him in that court case. Back over on Namaste Bitches, Teresa was alluding to it, talking about how she couldn't talk about it, but she can't wait until she can. She can't wait until she can tell the truth. Here's the truth, Teresa. The truth is that this wasn't your husband's ex bringing forth this lawsuit, okay? That's not who it was. It was a group of attorneys, not even on her behalf, just a group of attorneys. And I would like you to explain to me, or someone to explain to me, what group of attorneys is going to bring forth a suit that they have no evidence for. They clearly have evidence. It's a computer hacking. There is a clear electronic trail. They don't just make this shit up. That's so silly. But yeah, on Namaste Bitches, you can hear Teresa constantly alluding to it. How she can't talk about it now because, you know, it's in the court, so can't talk about it now. But she is constantly flagging the fact that just any day now, she's going to be able to tell the real story. And, you know, good luck. I mean, good luck with that. It's the same way that she's trying to do damage control over on Namaste Bitches about the fact that Louie's bots went after her co-star Melissa Feaster. I mean, do yourself a favor, you guys. Just go listen to 5 minutes of the latest episode of Namaste Bitches, where I think the title was like Fighting the Haters or Screw the Haters or something like that. Because everyone's a hater, right? In Teresa's world, anyone that says anything is a hater. They don't make any sense. They're just a hater. Right. Anyway, namaste, bitches. Moving on to Larsa and Marcus, who are not as broken up as they wanted us to believe, you guys. And, you know, that's good for them, however they want to play it. Tom says, over to Vanderpump Rules now, Tom says that the big night that Scandival popped off, that Ariana beat his ass. She says, Tom said that Ariana beat his ass the night she found out about the affair. And I have to say, honestly, in no way does that surprise me. I mean, doesn't surprise me, not even a little bit. Sandoval claims that Ariana split his lip and ripped his chains off in the process. And for her part, Ariana denies the tugging on his jewelry. She does not deny the split lip. So, you know, I mean, cheers to honesty, I guess. The little update on those two is that, you know, there was that whole back and forth about money. And now Tom is demanding that she repay the loan or the, you know, the money that she owes him. I know that there was a loan, and then I think there were also household finances that she owed him, house dues that she owed him. But he is wanting her to square up on the $90,000, to pay him back $90,000 before they proceed in any way with the house. No matter what they do, he wants to be paid back so that they start at square, which, I mean, seems fair. Anyway, you guys, now it is time for a quick break, but stay tuned because when we come back, it is time for our weekly reality check. We are back and we are starting our reality check in Potomac this week, where Robin Dixon decided to take her dysfunctional group to the DR. And everybody was very excited about this trip, but before they went, Nneka and Wendy decided that they were going to get together and try to, you know, have a meeting of the minds to try to put their past in the past and leave it behind them. But, I mean, that all soon went out the window because it is clear that Wendy just isn't willing to hear anything that Nneka has to say. Nneka could talk till she's blue in the face and it just won't matter because Wendy is just not willing to listen to her. And then before they left, Candace and Chris had a talk about making babies. Ashley and Mia talked about the security that comes with being in a relationship with an older man. Giselle's daughter Grace graduated from high school, and then they left, and they ended up at Casa de Campo, in the DR, and that's when Karen decided that she would rather stay on the sofa than share a room with Mia. I mean, the drama of it all. But Ashley pulled through, switched a room, gave Karen her own room, and all was right with the world. So everybody settled in, and then they all went night golfing. But before they could hit the link, Giselle decided she was going to play a silly little prank on the Grand Dame and crown the new girl Nneka the Grand Dame, because she is the one that actually lives within the boundaries of Potomac that they all deem to be the boundaries of Potomac. I mean, it's all, they have these constructs in their mind. If you live in North Potomac, South Potomac, whatever. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Everybody went along with it except Candace. She was annoyed by Giselle's antics. She called her a selfish imp, and then she went back to her room. After the night golf, Ashley admits that she is struggling with her confidence amidst her divorce from Michael. She explains to the women that she's been seeing a confidence coach, and they ask her to sing the new song that the confidence coach suggested that she write to help improve her confidence. And Ashley, being the boss that she is, got up and just started belting it out right there, a cappella, at the table, at a restaurant with, strangers staring and the whole bit. She didn't care. And I really, you got to give it to somebody that can just perform on a dime like that. But she did say that she was a theater kid, and I get it now, because I was a theater kid too, and that is what comes with being one. It is, no doubt, that is true. Let's see what else. Mia told the ladies some confusing information. She told the ladies that she had more money when she met G than he had. And everybody turned their head and was like, what the hell are you talking about? Because weren't you working at a strip club, and wasn't he the high roller? That was the story that she had given them before. And suddenly she's telling them that she had more money than G, and that it was inherited money, that she had an inheritance that set her up, which, I don't know, it all seemed really highly suspicious. It was just bizarre. Then the girls played a game of true confessions or drink. They ask a question. It was Robin's game. She asked the question, you answer it, and if the girls think that you're not being authentic, then you have to drink. And through that game, we learned a lot. We learned that Karen has a lot of wet dreams, apparently. She says that she has a lot of wet dreams. And we learned that Juan wants to have a threesome with Robin. And he doesn't care if the third party that joins them is a woman or a man. And I gotta say, at least he's being honest. Then over in Beverly Hills, I tell you guys, things really are bonkers. Did you see the budget for Kyle's white party? $400,000. Is that true? Because if so, it's just bananas. Whatever. I still love Kyle. I love Kyle so much. I love this new Kyle even. I love her even more because she just feels so much more authentic to me. I think that change and growth is a natural part of life, and I think that it really suits Kyle. I really do. I think that Kyle has really been interesting to watch, and that the micro dynamics of humanity and watching someone shift and change and evolve is really amazing. I think now we can really see how and why Kyle got to the place that she got to with Morgan. Not Morgan, but with Mauricio. And I think that she was tired of living a life that looked all hunky-dory on the outside, but was lacking all real true intimacy. And I think that she's just done compromising. And And I do think that she is with Morgan Wade. I have said that from the beginning. I mean, mainly because I live in LA and I know a lot of people, but I really do believe that announcement is about to come out. I mean, because just the other day, well, firstly, you heard earlier in the episode what it was that Garcelle said about Kyle making an announcement and about the true nature of her relationship with Morgan. Just a few days ago, they were on the red carpet together, looking completely like a couple. I mean, Morgan had her hand on the small of Morgan's oh my God, what is wrong with me? Morgan had her hand on the small of Kyle's back. Like, I mean, they looked like a beautiful couple. And I mean, and it is what it is. And then Mauricio just posted that strange dancing fuck you video, because I think he knows full well that it's only a matter of days now, Wednesday to be exact, that the whole world finds out that what everyone's been speculating about is actually true. And I think that all of these very big signs are pointing at the fact that we're going to have a big announcement soon, that they are indeed together and a couple. And that's my prediction by the end of the week. And I am here for Kyle's happiness. However she finds that, wherever she finds that, and whomever she finds that with. I'm gonna make you fall in love with me. PK was not making Dorit fall in love with him, that's for sure, because he was still in England, much to her chagrin. Then Denise Richards showed up in pink. I mean, that woman is too much. And hats off to Dorit, because she called her out. And I just loved it. Garcelle looked gorgeous. Crystal looked cute. And then there was Erica Jane, who showed up, and honestly, she slayed it. And she proved to a room full of doubters that just because you may be down does not mean that you're out. And with a good amount of guts and the right perspective and a heart full of faith, you can get through your darkest days and come out on the other side even better than you were before. Which honestly is a lesson that I hope Kyle holds on to as she navigates this split from Mauricio. Which, I mean, we all saw that very painful ending of on the latest episode when the poor girls were breaking down. It just broke my heart. And regardless of the circumstance, you know that it is a heartbreaking time for Kyle and Mauricio and their entire family. But I mean, this is growth, and the truth is it doesn't always feel good, but you have to, more than anything, stay tethered to your truth, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, and trust that in the end everything will be okay, and know that if it's not okay, then it's not the end. So yeah, the reunion starts this week, you guys, and I'm telling you, it is gonna be the big announcement. Because we also had that picture that was posted that just, I'm sorry, the picture, I've never had a friend like that. That's all. Okay, moving on to Vanderpump Rules. I would just like to start here. I am so very glad to see James in a better place. I'm so happy to see him throwing his first pool party. I am so pleased that he got his dog back. Good for him and Allie and Graham. But the fact of the matter is how can you talk about anything other than Ariana and how badly she's behaving? That poor girl she can't see past her pain just because she doesn't want to. It's simple as that. Because her goal isn't healing. It's just not. Her goal is not healing. Her goal is getting back at Tom. Because she was humiliated by his behavior and the fact that he chose someone else over her. And now she just wants everyone else to choose her over him. It's just so simple. And if you don't, then you too are morally corrupt, and she doesn't want you in her circle. Even though said circle were all his friends first. Tom and Ariana were like the mom and dad of the group. And now the mom is telling the kids to choose sides. And that's it. It's black or white. It's either him or her. And you better choose her because he's horrible and unsafe. Even though she's choosing to stay in the same home with him. I mean, It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm sorry, but if he's safe enough for you to live with, then he's safe enough for them to be friends with. I mean, can you imagine one of your friends telling you that you can't be friends with another friend that you've had for 100 years because of one decision they made at the lowest point in their life? I mean, it's insane. But according to Ariana, that's what you're supposed to do. It's just so insane to me. And then when they were all at James's pool party in the pool, and Sheena brings up the fact that her and Lala had that talk with Lisa about Tom and the desperate position that he was in, and how she was relating that to the situation that her brother was in. Before Sheena could even finish her freaking sentence, Ariana was shaking her head no. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? She is not even receptive to hearing other people's experience of the situation. And it was so sad. Sheena starts to say, Lisa said that she was seeing similarities between her brother and Sandoval. And she starts shaking her head. No, Tom and her brother are very different people. I mean, she just thinks that she is the authority on everything. And I mean, hello, newsflash, Ariana. We all know suicide is one of those things that just does not discriminate. So for her to say that was just unbelievable. Then she goes on and she says, he's still not taking responsibility for what he did. And again, I'm like, what is she talking about? It's like she's Delulu. He has taken responsibility. I've seen him apologize 100 times. He's cried his guts out from the pits of his soul. I mean, the guy knows he fucked up. I mean, is he not allowed to explain how he got to where he did? Is he not allowed to explain his why? Of course he's allowed to explain his why. He is a human being too. This is a huge part of his life. And in order for him to process it, he needs to understand it. And so he's allowed to share his experience. He doesn't get shut down just because Ariana got hurt. Just because he made the wrong decision or a bad decision, according to Ariana, doesn't mean that he doesn't have to process what happened to him too. But she just wants to completely shut him down and vilify him to the point where, you know, where he just basically doesn't matter. That's what she's going for. And it's just unfortunate. But the fact of the matter is she's stuck in her anger. And when you're stuck in your anger, it's easier to look at people's actions as a result of their character instead of looking at the circumstances that led up to the action. And then when you continually attribute someone's actions to their character and you allow that to become the defining narrative around them, then you begin to think that it's malintent and you start believing that they're just heartless and they were always out to hurt you and that was always part of the plan. But the truth is, Tom never wanted to hurt Ariana. He just wanted out. I mean, did he go about things the right way? Obviously, very obviously not. He made a mistake, a big one. But even that doesn't make him the devil. Tom even says that he previously tried to get out of the relationship, but that Ariana threatened self-harm if he did. And sad to say, but I believe that. And as a couple, they were both sick and stuck. And, you know, ideally it would have gone down a different way, but it just didn't. And the truth is, it's better to get out of something the wrong way than to stay in something that's fucking up your life and making you sick. But on a positive note, a friend of mine is very good friends with Tom's new girlfriend, and I hear she's a peach. Southern Hospitality had its big reunion, and I have to say that I saw Andy do something at that reunion that I have never seen him do before. He held somebody's feet to the fire about their lies in a way that I've never seen him do before. And it was Maddie. He was like, but you lied. But you lied. And he just kept saying it to her, but you lied. And she was trying to squirm out of it. And Andy just kept saying, yeah, but you lied. You said this. And there was just no getting out of it for her. And I have to say, I was so here for it. I can think of a million other times that I wish he'd done that, and I hope that that is what happens from here on out, because it was so refreshing to see her not be able to get out of it. And then, a lot of things came out of that reunion, and I have to say, there was context provided around that whole situation with Will going in the bathroom with that girl, in a way that I actually believe Will now. And I was not believing Will before, but I fully stand by it. And I get now why his girl was so upset about that, and why she stood so steadfastly behind him. And yeah, I get it. I think that Grace Lilly is just, poor little thing. She is, bless her heart. Isn't that what they say in the South? Bless her heart. For sure, because she clearly has a big heart. I'm not sure about, I don't know. She could be brilliant for all I know, but in the ways of the world, the whole trying to defend Maddie and not wanting to have her take accountability. The poor thing. A poor thing. Anyway, TJ, we find out, was actually not getting the BJ that we all thought that he was in the alley. And so that's good. We got that cleared up. A lot of shit got cleared up. But what the big red flag of that group, sorry to say, is just Joe Bradley, period. That guy is, poor fella. Bless his heart too. I feel so sorry for Joe Bradley, because I don't even think he realizes he's just so lost, the poor guy. He needs, firstly, I feel like I just need a one-on-one with that guy. He is so bass-ackwards. He does not know what end is up. He does not even know where to start. The poor, poor guy. He's just lost. And truthfully, you can just tell he has no self-worth, no self-love. That's why he's just constantly selling himself out. And if you're constantly selling yourself out, you will constantly sell out everyone. If you'll sell out yourself, you'll sell out everyone around you, unless you think someone's watching, because, it's survival. When he's just surviving, he does not know any better. That poor guy is just so empty inside that it's no wonder why he hooked up with Luann. It's no wonder why he hooked up with Danielle, because sorry to say, they're kind of the same way. They are both desperado, looking for love and attention and validation from whoever will give it to them. And it's sad, honestly. It really is. I love that show, though. I have to say, I think that show is just really getting started. And I hope they're bringing it back. I'm assuming they're bringing it back, or else they wouldn't have done the reunion. So, yeah. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for next season. I think that show has some great characters. I think it has real true friendships. And I think we're going to see some real growth arcs, hopefully, with some people. Joe Bradley, for one. Okay, it's time for a quick break because our sponsors need to speak. But when we come back, it's question and answer time. So stay tuned. We are back, and it is time for questions and answers. Our first one comes from Janelle B. from Billings, Montana. And she says, how can you support Tom Schwartz knowing that he knew all along about Sandoval and Raquel? And I will tell you why, Janelle from Billings. Because you cannot expect Tom Schwartz to be more loyal to Ariana than he is to his own best friend. I mean, that is absolutely insane. His loyalty is to Tom first. And just because he's loyal to Tom doesn't mean that he agrees with what he's doing. But standing by your friend, come what may, as long as no one's life is in jeopardy, is the right thing to do. So I don't hold it against Tom at all. I would hold it against Tom if he did sell his friend out. That's for sure. I would definitely be looking at him and saying what an absolute sellout he is. That is horrible and definitely not the kind of friend I would want anything to do with. Okay, our next one is from Janae Rogers. Our next question is from Janae Rogers from Joshua Tree, California, who says, how sweet. What's the update on Albie? And I'll tell you the update on Albie. And if you don't know who Albie is, he is my precious new puppy. The one I got a few months after I lost my Bella and Sophia, who I had had for nearly 15 years. And they were my puppies. They were born to my other dog. I was there at their birth and I had them forever. They were the loves of my life, my two girls. And we lost them after 15 years. And a few months later, we got little Albie. And he is part golden doodle, part Bernedoodle. And he might not have the lines and come from the same, championship Labradoodle genes that my previous ones did, but no matter, because this guy is all that and more. He has been so great, you guys. He brings us so much joy. And when we went up to the Bay, he was reunited with my brother's puppy, who is a Great Pyrenees. His name is Blue Montana, to be exact. My daughter brought Blue for my brother from Austin. He is so incredible. But anyway, him and Albie made such good friends over Christmas break. And so they were reunited and they literally played nonstop. I mean, from the time we got there Thursday night until we left Monday morning, those two were going at it. And my little Albie has been sleeping ever since. He is pooped, and I don't blame him. Okay, our third and final question comes from Christina P. From, where's this? I've never heard of this. Naperville, Illinois. Okay, Naperville. Now that Jason from Winter House has been seen with a woman other than Giselle, do you believe that their relationship was real or just a publicity stunt? And no, I don't think it was a publicity stunt at all. I think it was real. I think it was real for what it was. I think they weren't putting a bunch of labels and conditions on it. I think they were enjoying each other, when they could and at the level that they wanted to or felt right for them. But just because something doesn't last forever doesn't mean that it was a publicity stunt. You know what I mean? You can have a wonderful relationship with someone that doesn't go on forever and just, was right for that time. So no, I definitely do not think that it was a publicity stunt. But we will see. We will see what shakes out with that. All right, you guys, that about does it for this episode of Generally Speaking. But before we go, I usually just have one thing that I want to share with you guys, but today I have two. The first thing is the book Worthy. The book Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. If you haven't already heard of it, check it out now. Jamie is a client of Nikki's. Nikki does her hair. So Jamie comes into the salon. And when I walked in last Monday morning, there were a stack of these beautiful books. The title is Worthy, How to Believe You Are Enough and Transform Your Life. And anyone that knows me knows that there's nothing that I believe more in than the power of transformation and how it will completely change your life from the inside out. And this book is so beautifully written, and Jamie is full of the wisdom. And when you have gone through a process like this, you can see right through people that some people say that they've been through transformation and they just say the words because, they've read about it or whatever. But there are certain people who really have been through it. And when they have, they have. And you can tell by the way that they speak and the language that they choose to use. And I'm going to tell you guys, Jamie is one of those people. She is one of the voices that you really want to be listening to. So do yourself a favor, pick up a copy of Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. How to believe you are enough and transform your life with simple steps and life-changing results. And I am fully here for this book and for Jamie, so check that out. Secondly is your little nugget of knowledge from my knapsack of facts. And I have to tell you that this time it is a little personal, in alignment with kind of what we've been wading through as a family with regards to my sister. And it goes a little something like this. As long as you keep looking at life through the lens of what you lack, then contentment will continue to elude you. So do yourself a solid and start marinating your mind in gratitude. I promise you that that simple shift alone has the power to transform your entire life. It really, really does. Okay, everybody, that does it for us today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please be sure to give us a follow, a 5-star rating. Be sure you tell your friends about us. And if you'd like to submit a question for me to answer, you can DM me on IG, or you can email me at jennifer@jennifersnook.com. You can find me on TikTok at This Is Generally Speaking, or on Instagram at The Jennifer Snook. I hope your week is full of all of the good stuff, and until we're together again, stay rooted in love. Thanks, you guys. Love you mucho.